Mm-hmm. I heard. Hello, everybody. Oh, actually, where's yours? Did you add this in the future? This right here that says. Oh, okay. Because really. Welcome to tonight's August 1st, 2023 City of Covington Council meeting. This meeting is to call to order. If you can silence your cell phones tonight, would be nice. Silent or off would be great. And we can go right into roll call, please.
Councilman Lewis.
Here.
Councilman Botsford.
Here.
Councilman Roberts.
Here.
Councilman Inman.
Here.
Councilman Barrett. Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Rowling.
Here. If you would stand for a moment of silence, please. And please continue your prayers for Phoenix Bigler, for his full recovery, and the Kim Bigler family. Would Senator Patrick McMath lead us in a pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, tonight we have our first appearer is State Senator Patrick McMath. Welcome to our council meeting.
Thank you very much. State Senator Patrick McMath, 78 Riverdale Drive, Covington, Louisiana. Happy to be here. Thank you, Council President Rowling, for inviting me to come and speak, give a post-session update, even though we're a couple months removed. My schedule was a little tricky to coordinate with you all, but happy to be here. Give you a quick rundown as to as the primary purpose is the funding that we were able to secure for the city of Covington. Believe we had $3 million for ozones, sewer treatment upgrades, $720,000 for historic district overlays, believe $697,500. I made flashcards before I came here, so I can remember the numbers. It goes to the Menatry boat launch. Those are all in HB2, which is a capital outlay bill, but they're all in the form of one-time non-recurring revenue, which is how we refer to it in the legislature as cash. And so that money is available to the city as of the signature of the governor, which he has signed that bill. And I know that this administration, Aaron and Aaron mostly, but also Mayor Mark are aware of those funds and how to pull those from the state. Also, in the supplemental spending bill, which is a separate budget bill, we put in $300,000, I believe, for some beautification project for the city of Covington. Kind of in that, I believe it's going to be in that area, just on the, I guess that would be the west side of Lola, kind of that corridor that will connect. I believe the idea is, and this is, I can't take credit for this. This is Mayor Mark's idea, to connect the the parking garage to, as a walkway to the trailhead, and then also into the historic district of Covington, where we have great shops and restaurants and that kind of stuff. And then I don't want to leave out Mark Johnson, Representative Mark Wright, was able to secure, I believe, $250,000 for the Covington Youth Soccer Association for some field upgrades, as well as $200,000 each for the Covington Youth Service Bureau and Hope House, which I know that those two organizations are one, they serve both Covington and the greater community. So I want to thank him for that leadership as well. And again, I want to thank Mayor Mark, the council, and Aaron, and everyone in the Covington's administration for being so easy to work with and making my job up in Baton Rouge easy to secure these funds to continue to improve the quality of life that we so very much enjoy in the city of Covington. Be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Sure. Councilman Smith?
Yeah, it's not really a question, it's just a pat on the back. This is why your constituents elected you, to go there and fight for us, get us a slice of the pie, because we all know that the city of Covington, as well as St. Tammany, we contribute quite a bit when it comes to tax resources. And for you and Mark Wright, Representative Wright, to secure that kind of money, it makes a big, big impact for our community. And we certainly appreciate your efforts.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
I mean,
Vice
without-
Roberts?
Just to echo what Councilman Smith said, thank you for everything. Obviously, you're over there working for us, so I appreciate you very much.
All right. Councilman Lewis?
Yeah, I'm going to echo the same thing. You've been great. Always looked up to you. Thank you for the work you do. Other thing I want to ask you is, how can we get some ideas sent to you for other areas in the city of Covington?
And Councilman Lewis, first of all, you could call me personally. I believe you've got my cell phone. All of you should have. No, I know for a fact all of you have it. So give me a call, and when we get closer to session, if you've got some ideas. I failed to mention that we actually secured $75,000 for Faith Bible's summer camp as well. Worked with Pastor Young on those funds. Thank you. I jogged my memory. And now, that's going to be for next year's summer camp, because they kind of had some things already in motion, but they were able to use those funds as well. So just to answer your question, give me a call whenever, and we can discuss. There's been talk of both by Mayor Mark and some other folks within the city of Covington. I know there's a major need for to support the Boys and Girls Club of Covington and a new club. They're without a home at the moment. Well, I said without a permanent home, and that's going to be a focus of mine moving forward over the next few years. And so, but always a phone call away, Councilman Lewis.
Yeah, Councilman Oxford, I think.
Yeah, I'd like
we
to,
have 2 more
just,
comments.
echo. There's lots of echoes. But no, I think it's fantastic that, with Mark Wright, I appreciate you mentioning that, because the Youth Service Bureau and the Hope House is such a tremendous benefit to our community. What they do for our children is just, any dollar amount just can't replace that.
Right.
And these guys, as you know, I do like a big fundraiser for the Hope House, and just being there and touring with them, and as well as the Youth Service Bureau, man, we'd be lost without them. So thank you.
I want to mention this too. It's not like everybody in the legislature gets a certain dollar amount. You've got to be in leadership positions to secure, the funding that truly makes an impact. And Representative Wright is, as you all know, is chairman of a committee of House Transportation Committee, and that affords him a little bit more seniority, and with that comes an increase in funding. So there's a lot of moving around of the chessboard, if you will, and it's all to benefit our districts and our community like Covington. So he does a wonderful job.
Okay, Councilman Nate?
Yeah, I just had one last thing to say. I wanted to compliment you on the communication both upstream and downstream, if you will, between the mayor's office, council members, et cetera. Without that line of communication, things can get lost, but that open line of communication allowed for, how can I say this, you to best do the job that you do, which is obviously an excellent job. So much appreciated.
Thank you, Councilman Inman. And listen, if you guys need some state funding to get you a permanent name tag, be happy,
Well,
be happy
All right,
to
Council Clerk.
facilitate
I
that.
got a cup. We'll hold it out and pass it around.
Listen, as a former city councilman.
Amy Tucker.
As a former city councilman in Covington,
I'll use the
Happy-
back of your old one.
yeah, happy to work with you and welcome to Covington City Council. So,
Thanks.
I am just-
Appreciate it.
I am just so glad I didn't mention that tag. That's all I can say at this point. But no, of course, ditto to everything that was said. We really do appreciate you and Mark, all you do for our community. So you're always available, and we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Council. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
So thank you to Senator McMath for coming to present the funding that we're getting. I wanted to let you guys know, so that $3 million is going toward, like he said, is going toward the ozone sewer collection system, and then we have $1.95 million in ARPA funds that we have been holding on to pursue this project. So combining those two pots of money, it's going to be almost $5 million to start in the ozone and go through the West 20s, the West 30s, and as far as we can to the wastewater treatment plant. And that's a huge deal.
Yeah, that's going to
Okay.
be a huge deal, especially for the ozone.
Thank you.
Calls I get in there.
All righty, thank you. Next on our peer, State Treasurer John Schroeder was coming tonight, so I'm waiting to hear to him if he's en route right now from Baton Rouge. So we'll see if he does appear, and we'll just get him up there to talk to us a little bit. So we're going to move right on to the consent calendar. Minutes from the July 11, 2023 council meeting. I would need an emotion to accept these consent calendar minutes.
So moved?
I need a second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Botsford,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilman Inman,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go right into the regular agenda, unfinished business, items to be voted on. Public hearing action item number 2023-0701, an ordinance of the City of Covington amending the Covington Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Parks and Recreation, Article 1, in general to add Section 70-2, hours of operation. Councilman Boxford.
Yeah, this ordinance is a little early, in my opinion, in others' opinion. And I think it's on the 9th. We're actually going to have a committee meeting to go over this and we've talked to the different districts. We're going to have the police chief there. Aaron will be there and a couple other council people. It's kind of like a one-size-doesn't-fit-all for all of our parks. And we want to be there with also the chief of police. I think he was still here. There he is, hiding back there. He's also going to be in the meeting, so we're going to iron this out. So at this time, I would recommend that we table this. So I would make a motion to table it.
So we do have a motion on the floor. I would need a
Second.
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 We'll go right into roll call, please.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Inman,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes,
Councilman Lewis,
Yes.
Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
thank you. Moving on to item number 2, public hearing action item number 2023-0702, an ordinance of the City of Covington authorizing the mayor to purchase on behalf of the City of Covington, Lot 3, Square 20, Division of St. John, St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. Councilman Smith.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to speak about this because it's an investment in our city, and I'm going to take it back a step. I really truthfully believe the best quality that we can offer our residents and businesses is safety. And with that being said, we've got a police department that is doing a fabulous job. And I'm not so sure we've provided all the resources they need, okay, as far as facilities. You know, they don't operate in Taj Mahal. Their detective department right across the street has that building that's being leased, And pretty much they've outgrown it. It doesn't give them the access to the capabilities that they need over there. And because we don't own it, we can't improve it. We can't add on to it. We can't make improvements to the building. But the mayor came to me and he suggested, hey, what do you think about this opportunity where maybe we can speak to the owners of that building right across the street that the police department is using, but we don't own it? Would you think that would be a good investment? And I said, absolutely, Mayor. I think it would be a tremendous investment. And with that said, some negotiations took place, and the sellers of the building love the city of Covington. They're old established family here. They understand the need that we had. They also understand we can't pay more than what an appraised value is. They were willing to accept that. So what this ordinance is doing is it's putting together an agreement that we are able to buy the building for $400,000. Once we complete that deal, we will then be able to work with the police chief and see what they need and refurbish the building, add on to it if necessary, and give them a place to operate and continue to do the job that they're doing. So that's my explanation for this ordinance. I'm excited about it. I think it's long overdue. So with that, I'm finished unless somebody has questions.
Well put. We're going to go council comments first, and then we'll go to the public.
Yeah, really quickly, I did have some constituents that not only were supportive, but very supportive of this particular adoption. They look at this as an investment in the city of Covington long-term. They appreciate what the mayor's stance on this. They appreciate Councilman Smith's, a bit putting it to the fore and getting it in front of everybody. So it does have some support, and I fully support that as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anything else council related, or we can come back? If
No, I'm
not,
just saying that for anything that we can do to, enhance our police department and give them the tools to do their job, it's well needed. And everybody I've talked to in the area is just very happy with it. And I appreciate y'all for agreeing to sell it and everything. And like I said, they are great members of our community, and thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We can come back if anybody has anything additional. We'll open it at this time for any public comments. If you would come forward, and then we'll get some administrative comments, unless you want to do that now, Mayor.
No, you, any public, go ahead.
Seeing none, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close those, and we'll go right into the mayor really quick, and then we'll close the
Very
petition.
quickly, I'd just like to acknowledge the family that is selling it to us is notorious for not selling property. They don't sell anything. And they are doing this truly out of the goodness of their heart, for their love of the city of Covington. And so we're not going to name any names, but we are very grateful for the fact that they are going to do this for us, because it is a big move and a positive move for the city of Covington PD.
Well put. Okay, so we want to go ahead and close the public hearing. So I need a motion to close, please,
Motion to close?
and I need a second.
Second.
And then we'll go right into a motion to adopt,
Motion to adopt.
and we do need a second.
Second.
We need a roll call, please.
Councilman Inman,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes.
Councilman Lewis,
Yes.
Councilman Botsford,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on. Public hearing action item number 2023-0703, an ordinance to amend Chapter 26 Cemeteries, Article 2, Graves and Burial Sites, to revise the rules relating to permits, decorations, and gravesite maintenance at the city cemeteries. Councilman Lewis.
This ordinance is just basically a ordinance that was created after working with Ms. Tucker and some of the council members and other administration to help improve our cemeteries and tighten up some of our rules just for the beautification of the cemeteries in the city of Covington. So that's the basic breakdown of the ordinance. And hopefully to, like I said, keep up the beautification and tighten up the rules.
Okay. Does the administration want to talk about this before we open up? I know Amy Tucker, Director of Facilities, she worked very hard with the committee. Y'all did a great job on this for a while. Do you want to come up and say a few words, Amy? Because y'all worked very hard on this. I appreciate the hard work. And just state your name and your position, please.
Amy Tucker, Director of Facilities. So Councilman Lewis and myself have done 2 cemetery cleanups with the public, and so we've seen for ourselves some things that needed to be redone, basically, and tightened up, and we've been working really hard in the cemeteries to try to clean them up, so.
Okay.
May I offer something? So
Yes,
there are
indeed.
basically 2 purposes to this ordinance. One is basically to specify what can be placed at grave sites in terms of decorations and memorabilia and whatnot. The other part is to clarify that the only people that can get permits for a burial is a funeral home, and that would be the entity that's responsible should any neighboring plots or that burial site be affected or damaged or anything like that. And we wanted to make sure the ordinance was very clear on that enforcement. And I think the committee was very wise to put a $1,000 fee in there should any sites be damaged.
Great point, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Tucker?
No, I plan to have rules made and posted in the cemeteries. We haven't done that in quite a while, so they need to be updated, so the public knows what what we're asking for them to do and how we want to keep it clean and nice.
Okay,
So-
thank you very much. At this time, we're going to go ahead and open it up for any public comments. Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. Council comments, anything additional? Yes, Councilman Bach.
I got to give out a big shout out to Amy for all that she does with the cemeteries. When I first started off here as on the council, Peter organized a cleanup, and we all went there, and I believe, Aaron, you were there too. And it was amazing, the amount of stuff that we just pulled out of the cemeteries. And, that with the gates, you're working on that with Peter and myself, and the new arch, how it's painted and stuff, it just pops. It look, it's got Covington green on it. I think our cemeteries have looked the best that they've ever looked, or at least as long as I've been around. I mean, they look fantastic, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else, okay? Okay. So at this point, we'll go ahead and, I need a motion to close the public hearing, please.
Motion to close.
I need a second.
Second.
And at this point, because there have been some things on this ordinance that has been amended, so Councilman Lewis, you want to make a motion for that?
Make a motion to accept the amendment?
Okay, make a motion to accept the ordinance introduced as
As
amended?
Yep.
Okay. I do need a second on that.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes.
Councilman Lewis,
Yes.
Councilman Botsford,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilman Inman.
Yes.
And at this time, I will make a motion to adopt, and I do need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes.
Councilman Lewis,
Yes.
Councilman Botsford,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Inman,
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, item number 4. Public hearing action item number 2023-0704, an ordinance of the City of Covington to amend the 2023 capital and operating budget. Councilman Smith.
Thank you. This ordinance basically is just moving money around in the 23 budget that we approved. And these are dollars that we agreed that we would use when needed. This ordinance, you'll look at it, there's a whole bunch of needs. I look at this as just maintenance. The city has property like buildings and roofs and air conditions, and termites seem to like the wood. We've got a lot of upkeep to do, if I could say it that way. You get police department, they need a roof replacement. the city council chambers, roof replacement, termite damage, which was incredible, okay? And it was just mind-boggling what those suckers could do, man. Administration, you can sit here and look at all these expenses. I can justify all of them. You know, you look at the police department, not only do they have building repairs and roof repairs, but you're looking at cost of auto repair. You know, they ride those vehicles hard, I would assume, and they're not getting any younger, the vehicles, I'm saying, not the police department, okay? But the cars are getting older. So until we replace them with new vehicles, there's maintenance. You can look at all kinds of things. And we're also increasing a significant amount of money for equipment with the Public Works Department. You can see a boom truck. That's a big expense item, $210,000. I don't see Jim in the audience, but, okay. Would you like to come explain what that big expense would be and what the advantage to the city, how this could be an efficient way of doing things?
And if you would, just state your name and your department.
My name is Charles Arthur. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Works. I'm standing in for Jim tonight. The boom truck will go around the city, collect the limbs that Coastal can't get to as fast as we could get to. We would also be able to clean in front of the culverts, keep the trash from flowing on through, clogging the culverts up, making the drainage even worse, you know, than what we're dealing with. So it would benefit us in a lot of different areas, for sure.
And from a cost standpoint, Jim was telling me how much more efficient this would be because of manpower.
Right.
How many hours you guys would, without this truck, it basically will pay for itself just by saving
Yes.
on hours that you guys have to work.
Our
So it's
guys
more
go
efficient,
out.
Cost effective.
Our guys go out when there's a storm coming. They go out, they clean ditches, they clean in front of the culverts, they clean catch basins. We really try and keep up with that so that, you know, the water can flow freely. And with the truck, we could just bring the truck over there, scoop it out, load it in the dumpster, and go on about our way.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, we certainly, I appreciate you explaining the benefits to that.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We're going to come to council comments in a minute. We're going to go right into any public comments. Anyone from the public? Okay, we'll go right into council comments at this point, and then we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Boxford.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about that boom truck. I think that was Mayor Mark's idea, because we cleaned out a canal, and I think he's tired of getting bit by fire ants. So. Oh, we would have loved to have that. But I think it's well-needed, and I think anything that makes our street crews more efficient and makes it easier for these guys, especially in this 100-and-something degree heat, I mean, hey, let's do it.
Okay. Councilman Ning?
Yes, the other thing is it allows for a reallocation of human capital. So if, you know, our workers, city workers are not doing what the boom truck is doing, they can do something else. And that's a valuable outlay of that human capital, that, you know, it's a smart use of money, in my opinion.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Roberts?
Yeah, just on the flip side of that, it's a dangerous job. So you're taking the place of what in human nature could hurt somebody with a truck that could actually make it much safer for people. So it's going to save on workman's comp and stuff like that as well. And I sat in the room, just to echo what Councilman Smith said, with all the department heads, and all this makes sense. So for those who can't see it in front of them right now, it's kind of a no-brainer to make sure we move forward.
Yes, sir. Well taken, those comments. I was just going to talk about the department heads that we were in the meeting with. So everything was explained to us. We had a bunch of questions. It was answered, it just made sense. So that being said, at this point, I would like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Need a second?
Second.
I just wanna
Roll
throw
call,
one in
please.
every now and then, throw one in, you know?
Councilman Lewis?
Yes.
Councilman Botsford?
Yes.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilman Inman?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Rowling?
Yes, I'm sorry. I know our council clerk, Joanne Rucker, has a tough time deciding, who said second first or who said what first. She does a good job, by the way, just letting you know. All right. So, and I don't think the treasurer came in as of yet. All right. So, that being said, we're going to go right into new business. Resolution item number 2023-14, a resolution of the City of Covington, Council authorizing the mayor to execute an cooperative endeavor agreement with the Restore Louisiana Non-Federal Match Program for funding for the City of Covington in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. This is the third one for you tonight, Councilman
Yes,
Smith.
sir, thank you.
Go for it.
Some of us work around here, you know?
I hear you, right?
All right, this cooperative endeavor agreement will basically allow the city to go capture some money that we had to spend after Ida on cleanup. As Caroline, a grant writer for the city, who's doing a wonderful job, she approached, why don't you approach the podium and you can kind of explain. Since she told me, Rick, I just paid for my salary for the next year or two. I said,
right.
geez, how much money do you make? Because she's saving us a lot of money, about $190,000.
If you would state your name and your department, please.
Caroline Lova, Grants and Procurement Administrator,
Thank you.
and I said it would cover for 3 years.
3 years?
Wow, okay.
Initially, you said it covered my salary, and I said, I want your job.
So after Hurricane Ida, FEMA came through and helped us with the cleanup, or they helped pay for the cleanup that we did. The Restore Louisiana portion of it will cover the losses that we had on it, so the 10%. So FEMA paid for the 90% of this particular project. We paid the 10%. We're getting back the $190,573 for that project.
It's awesome.
Very good.
It's really good. So my recommendation is, she's probably underpaid, but don't tell her. We should definitely consider this cooperative endeavor because it's recouping $190,000 for us. Thank you for your attendance. You like a, I know you're good at this. It's fine, there's all kinds of good
Trying to
money.
find some money, yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate you. We're going to just see if anyone from the public that would like to comment on behalf of this resolution. Seeing none, hearing none, council comments. Anything additional? Looks like we're good on that. So I just need a motion to accept, please,
Motion to accept?
and I do need a second.
Second.
You got that one, Joanne?
I got it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Botsford,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Inman,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Rowling,
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
All right. Making progress here, y'all. All right, we're going to go right into council district and committee reports. So that being said, we'll start with District A, Councilman Lewis.
Sorry about that, I was making notes. District A, I think I have 3 questions, but I'll save that for the mayor's comments. Other than that, District A is looking good.
Okay?
No comments today.
Sounds good, sir. Thank you. District B, Councilman Botsford.
All right, thank you. The food bank didn't have enough time really there to get all their stats out, so I'm not going to mention that. But they're expanding into their 3rd school, Rock Elementary School in Slidell, for their Fall for Kids weekend program. Speaking of fall, if you go to the resale shop, they have tons of fall goodies out there and stuff, so please come by and patronize them for that. Some upcoming events for them, they have the SOS Blood Drive. The Bloodmobile would be at the food bank tomorrow, August 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., so come by and donate. And this is a great one, the Adult Spelling Bee at Covington Beer Garden. That is August 6th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Register on their website, and they have a few teams left. They have a limited amount of teams. And if you want to know, I have the inside person that's coming up with the words to be spelled. So, but anyway, August's most needed items are soup, tuna, chicken, salmon, oatmeal, mac and cheese, and fruit. I want to give a shout out to Public Works for the guys that are out there working, in this hot weather. I mean, 102 plus the heat index. I mean, man, you know, the grass cutters, everybody that's out there every single day out in this heat. And, hey, hats off to you guys. Remind everybody about Wednesday's farmer markets at the trailhead, as well as Saturdays right here by the police station. And White Linen Night is August 19th. It's in downtown Covington. Please come out. It's a fun time. I know it's a little hot, but you get to wear white linen once a year. And so it's all fun and then patronize our businesses. It's a huge boost to our businesses and the economy. And I got to give a big shout out to the council, as well as the administration, for our new traffic patrol officer and the chief and everything. This guy's doing a great job. I mean, I work on Florida Street. I see him constantly getting people that are just blowing through stop signs. It's not like they're just kind of moseying along and a taillight out or something like that. These are some serious offenders, and obviously he's paying for himself, and I think it's sending a good message. I've already noticed that people have actually slowed down going down Florida Street, and I don't know if it's that potholes or the tickets, one of the two. But, hey, it's an improvement, so I'm happy to see that, and, hey, this guy was, I mean, obviously this position was well needed, and thanks to everybody.
All right. Thank you, sir. Moving on to District C.
Yeah,
Councilman Roberts.
I'll just lead off right where Councilman Botsford said. Thank you. River Forest is still being watched. 15th Street has seemed to slow down a little bit. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect, so just keep the lights going and pulling people over, reminding them that there is a speed limit that we need to follow for sure. I couldn't remember who said it. Benjamin Franklin said it. Show me your cemeteries, and I will tell you what kind of people you have. And so kudos to Peter and Amy for doing what you do with our cemeteries, because it does remind people that we do care about our past and our legacy as Covington. I was absent last month. I apologize. I was sick. I could probably still sound sick, but I didn't get to say congrats to Councilman Inman over there, so welcome. Glad to see you over there, bud. And then September 9th, the Never Forget 5K run is going to be right here at the trailhead. Please come on out and support it. It's turned into a great event. Last year, I don't know if they'll do it this year, so I don't want to put Stephen on the spot, but they had a piece of the towers there that you can actually see. It was amazing. So if you're a runner or you're just a supporter of the fire department, all they do, September 9th, look it up on Facebook, Never Forget Run. You can just look up Stephen Michelle and it'll be on there. And then lastly, kudos to the administration. So for the last 2 months, I've had a few meetings with some of my District C. So we met with Barclay Park. I think you guys were sitting in there and just kind of talking about all the things happening there, what we're trying to do to remedy some of the flooding and drainage that's happening. And then same thing, conversations have started about the new projects at Lurleen, and I know that you guys are already on top of it. So thank you for just being so responsive. I appreciate it. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. We'll move right on to District D. Councilman Inman.
Thank you so much. First thing I'd like to thank is the fellow council members up here. You've been most helpful when I've had questions, and I've had a lot of questions. Let me make that very clear. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, Ms. Joanne, as well. Keeping us in line as a group has to be a chore, so much appreciated. I'd like to thank the mayor and his staff. Y'all have been amazing as well. I would go through a laundry list of people, but it would take far too long. Public Works, again, I did a ride-along with the general, and what I'm going to tell you is I learned quite a lot, is the best way to say it. So it was, I'm not used to doing field trips in that manner, but it was quite the eye-opening experience. And then I had the opportunity to meet with Ms. Sarada Bonnet. She is amazing with our events here in Covington. They are a catalyst for economic development. We are becoming known all over the country for what we do here in Covington, and she certainly and her staff deserve some credit with that, as well as Ms. Amy Tucker. They do work hand in hand. We do have some facilities here in Covington besides the cemetery. So thank you for keeping those, situated. I also want to compliment the response to our power outage, just simply because, well, it's hot. So we need this stuff called AC. And it was, again, a coordinated effort that I would like to compliment the administration on, as well as, obviously, the electric company and our Public Works Department, because I know that you might say, well, where do they fit in? Well, we have lift stations here in Covington, and with no power, that's a problem. So, these city workers were out all hours of the night. And as a matter of fact, the ride-along that I took with Jim was the very next day, and he was still just the nicest guy, even though he was pretty much on no sleep. So kudos to them, well done. Within the district itself, the nice thing about doing the ride-along was actually, giving the general, if you will, Mr. Jim O'Berry, a list of constituent concerns that we were actually able to go out and put our eyes on. So that was a nice aspect to that. In terms of the library, on the 12th, there's a genealogy session, so if you want to go learn about your family history, I know that I had the opportunity to learn about 3 family histories at the mayor's event, which was most enlightening. But if you want to learn more, maybe about your own family, they actually will work with you on that information. On the 21st is fall story time. It's a save the date. There is no time listed. On the 23rd, if you want to know more about your iPhone, you can go and find out because they actually do workshops on that. And then last but not least, at the library, they do adult education. So they will assist people with life skills, and that's incredibly important. And some of the participants are going on to get an alternate diploma. So that's a powerful thing that can be life-changing. My last thing I'm going to mention really quickly is school opens soon. We have crowded streets as it is, as we all well know. They will be more crowded as of next week. So stay safe, be smart, and keep a lookout. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We're going to go right into our Councilman at Large, Rick
Thanks.
Smith.
Thank you. I've got one topic I'd like to discuss, and that would be, Patrick Senator McMath spoke about, I'm excited about that, about next year's legislation, their session. He's going to try and work on securing some funding for a permanent Boys and Girls Club. Anyhow, today I'm speaking about the Boys and Girls Club 3-on-3 basketball tournament. All the proceeds will benefit the Covington Boys and Girls Club. That event takes place at the Reverend Peter Atkins Park, and it will be held August 26th. So it's a Saturday. Looks like the games will start at 9 a.m. Registration starts at 7:30 a.m. So it's teams of 4 people, or 4 players, I should say. And it's from grades 4 through 12. So I've been refereeing in this tournament every year now for a long time. And it's very competitive, but it's a lot of fun. And so if you know of any schools or neighborhood kids or somebody that wants to put together a 4-person team, there are girl teams and boy teams. Again, it's fun. We got a lot of refreshments, food, that kind of thing. You can learn more about this by going to the website, which is bgcmetrolouisiana.org. If anybody is interested in playing basketball, August 26th, Peter Atkins Park, right here in Covington. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that update. I guess the beauty for being last doing announcements, a lot's been covered, so I don't have to go through all of it. But I do have 2 things really quick. The CBA meeting, very important, community involvement organization is having their meeting at Heritage Bank on tomorrow, August 2nd at 5:30. So you want to go ahead and attend that if you have business, of course. And then also the United Way had their 14th annual St. Tammany Red Beans and Rice Cook-Off yesterday at the Bogafalaya Hall. It was packed in there. A lot of community involvement. What a great cause. 14 years, can't believe that. But I know the first place team was St. Tammany Parish Government. The second was our own Covington Fire Department, or should I say Kimmy's Red Beans. And then also third place was the Mandeville Police Department. They did a great job. And I know Councilman Boxford mentioned about local businesses. I know during the summer, things slow down, restaurants slow down, some retail slows down. So definitely remember them during the summer months. They work hard for this community, and they definitely the heartbeat of the community on our taxes too. So that being said, we're going to turn it right over to Mayor Mark.
Thank you, Councilman Rowling. I'd like to begin by thanking the council for their work on the mid-year budget amendment. I know each item in the amendment requires the council folk meeting with staff, phone calls, and committee hearings. I and my administration appreciate the fact that members take much of their time, I'd say much more than the average citizen realizes, to study, learn, and understand each of these requests, so I appreciate that. Having said that, the city department heads and directors are already 2 months deep into the budget process for 2024. So we will be asking councilmen in August, September, and October to once again take much of your time to assist us in this process. I'd like to congratulate 2 of our city employees, Director of Cultural Arts and Events, Sarada Bonnet, and firefighter Kimmy Duncan, for being selected into the Leadership St. Tammany class of 2024. Very nice, and it speaks very well of our city. Update on projects underway and overseen by our engineering department. Lurleen Drive Phase 1 is substantially complete. We are currently battling trying to keep sod alive in 100-degree temperatures and doing some curb cutouts. Lurleen Drive Phase 2 is going out for bid next month with a budget of $1.3 million. Sewer point repairs are also going to take place in River Forest, going out for bid next month with a budget of $2 million. Sewer point repairs are where we have discovered, through smoke testing and video, broken terracotta pipes throughout the subdivision. We'll be excavating and repairing those breaks, and then we will be putting a hot molten plastic through the interior and lining the old pipes, cured in place, which I happen to have right here. And this is what the inside of the new pipe will look like and feel like. So that's a big push for River Forest. On Patricia and Michelle in River Forest, the subsurface culverts there have failed, and we are in the design stage, about 90% complete on design, with a budget of $350,000. In downtown, on Gibson Street, Rutland, and Abear Lane, we are at 75% design, with completed with a budget of $1.5 million. To replace the bridge at Columbia Street and Mile Branch, under this budget amendment this evening, we now have the funds to do the utility relocation assessment, and that project should be about $2 million. Minetry Park Boat Launch, design 50% complete. We are in the permitting process with the United States Army Corps of Engineers, and that project should be about $1 million. Wastewater treatment plant muck out. No one knows when our sewer pond was last excavated or mucked out, and we have bids due on August 10th with a budget of $600,000. The new sewer force main under the Ronald Reagan Highway has been installed, and it's active. There's some additional work and improvements to be done over the next couple of months. The Oak Alley entrance lift station is preparing to go to bid for the new wet well. In addition to these, and also in other various stages, our engineering department is also overseeing or assisting with the 15th Avenue Dog Park, downtown traffic study, traffic studies for roundabouts at Columbia and Jefferson and Columbia and 30th Avenue, replace a water main on McGee Street, rebuild the sewer collection system from Ozone Park to the wastewater treatment plant, sum total $5 million, coordinate with DOTD on revitalization discussion on roundabout at 21st and Tyler, coordinate with DOTD on possible school crossing at 17th and Tyler, coordinate with DOTD on possible improvement in the ditch on the west side of Tyler near 17th and 16th Avenues, and coordinate with DOTD with a pedestrian crosswalk at Boston and Columbia. When I say our engineering department is overseeing this, I'm talking about 4 people. Everything I just named is being overseen by 4 people, and that would be engineer Callie Baker, staff engineer Colin Mansfield, project manager Amber Luquette, construction inspector Jacob Brister. And all of this is under the leadership of our CAO, Aaron Bavona. That's some serious work product, and that's a whole lot for this city to tackle in the next couple of years. With this staff, we are at an equilibrium where we can do this, and we can do it right. We don't want any more. This is plenty for us to take care of, and should we lose any of these employees, it's going to be a real challenge for us. So I just shared that with you, that we've got quite a bit on our plate for the next 2 or 3 years. Personally, I will be taking the lead on the improvements to the Police Department Investigation Building, on improvements to the Tammany Trace from the Justice Center to the Trailhead, and this month I will be meeting with Ms. Eva Hurst from the City of New Orleans, who is the Director of the Mayor's Office of Americans with Disabilities Act for the City of New Orleans. She has graciously agreed to school me up on what our obligations are as well as our limitations regarding the American Disabilities Act. Our goal is at minimum to be ADA compliant, but also where feasible to be accommodating to our disabled community. And so we've got some questions throughout our downtown area. Before I meet with state agencies and advocates, I want it to be educated. And so the mayor of New Orleans has her person coming over to bring me up to date. It may be the dog days of August, but Covington is still culturally speaking, one of the coolest cities in America. May not feel like it, but we still are. Covington Business Association meeting first Wednesday of the month. Zumba with the mayor this Sunday, noon, Bogaflaya Hall. On the 17th, we have the Lumineers on stage, Lights Up the Corner of Covington and Broadway. This is a musical of Broadway songs where the lyrics have been altered to fit the city of Covington. So it should be a whole lot of fun. On the 18th, the next night, we have Sunset at the Landing. 19th, the next night, is White Linen for Public Art. Saturday on the 19th during the day, the American Legion will host their Banana Split fundraiser on Ronald Reagan Highway. A lot of fun, really a great family-friendly event. On the 25th, we have the block party. 26th, we have Boys and Girls Club Hoops for Kids. 27th is yoga at the North Shore Food Bank. And in September, Zumba with the mayor will be at the North Shore Food Bank. Lastly, in September, On Stage presents Johnny and June, Johnny Cash and June Carter. Again, we always want to clarify, it's not the real Johnny Cash and June Carter. And in my notes, it says, I now sing Folsom Prison, but I'm going to spare you that. So. Finally, Southern Living Magazine is currently doing their online poll. So if any of our residents are so inclined, just click on the link and go through, and you can talk about your favorite restaurants throughout the South. And some of them may happen to be in our little town. So that's it.
Okay, before we go into council comments, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Councilman Smith?
Mayor, there was a lot that you, I tried to digest it. I don't know if y'all all got it, but if you could forward all those projects, if you could send that whiteboard, if you will, to our clerk, and maybe. I actually give her my notes after the meeting. Oh, good, good. Would you see that if you could make copies? I'd like to have a copy of that, and I'm sure everybody else would too. Throw it in our mailbox, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a
Councilman Lewis?
question. I just want to get follow-ups on. I know we talked about in the past about the drainage issues happening down Edwards and around Community Church. With the funds that's coming in from Senator McMath and the improvements that we're going to have in Ozone, would that alleviate those problems, the drainage problems in those areas?
So Jim O'Barry, who, by the way, is out with a little high blood pressure issue. You can't imagine why his blood pressure would be up. But he did an on-site visit during that last heavy rainstorm we had several weeks ago. And when I said on-site, 2 a.m. in the morning, Jim O'Barry left his home, came down to Covington, and rode around the city and looked at where our drainage issues were. One being behind Community Church was at Edwards, right in there,
Yeah.
Morgan, right in there. And we had looked at it earlier where that drainage ditch flows into right in front of the Robertsons' house, and we have 3 ditches coming together in one intersection, but when only one egress. Well, once that corner gets filled, everything else just backs up. It's not a question of it flowing, it's a question of backing up. So he used a new procedure that we used on West St. Mary. A diagonal culvert has been installed a little bit upstream. Councilman Botsford, you've seen it.
Yes.
We came a little bit upstream from that culvert and dropped in a diagonal culvert that's going to divert the water across the street and then down the street before it gets to that intersection. And we have high hopes that with drainage, what's so interesting is that so often the problem is 5 blocks away. It's not, you're seeing it in one place, that's the symptom, but the blockage is further down. And so I think the general came up with a good idea on this. That culvert has been installed, and now we're just sitting back waiting for that next rain.
Okay.
Hold on. To answer your specific question, no, those funds cannot be used for drainage. They are specifically for sewer.
Okay. My other question is, the Columbia Street Bridge, I know you said we were probably going to wait until we finish Collins. Did we set any time frame on that yet?
We did say we were going to wait until Collins, and since then, we've kind of said, you know what, there's no waiting. There's but Collins may be finished by the time we get all of our work done. We still are just doing the assessment of relocating the utilities. So we pivoted. We pivoted. We pivoted, and we're just moving forward with it, kind of at just a pace that fits in with all the other projects that engineering is working with.
Okay. And one last question, and this one's for Aaron. Did you get any update yet on the Mile Branch situation?
You're talking specifically about the project with the parish?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did see the funding is still available for that agreement, and the last they told us is that they were moving into design. So I will follow up with them and see where they are.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, while everybody's sitting over there, thank you guys for what you do. I truly appreciate it. Whenever I get to see all y'all's faces in the same room, I want to make sure I say thank you. And then, Mayor, I appreciate your assertiveness on the tree clearing issue that we were dealing with on 15th. So thank you for following that through.
Anything else? Yeah, Councilman Boxberg.
There's just one comment, since we're talking about the Columbia Street Bridge, for Cali, I guess, or just a note to give you. That's really used by a lot of the citizens that there as a walkway to, go to the post office, to go to Winn-Dixie. There's people that work at Pool Lumber and everything, so hopefully that will be accommodating for a type of walkway for them to do this while the construction's going on. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? We good? Mr. Profona, anything tonight?
2 words, budget season.
Yes, I bet. Okay. So we all good up here? All right, so before we break, first off, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight that's in the audience. We appreciate you being here. The September 2023 meeting in these chambers will be held on the second, not the first, but the second Tuesday in September, which will be the 12th, at 6 p.m., again, in these chambers. So y'all have a great rest of the summer, and have a great Labor Day holiday. Be safe. This meeting is adjourned.
One more.